Welcome to the Real Deal Fantasy Drill with your host, The Real Deal.
Welcome to Kagama Fantasy Football fans. We are here once again after week one to bring you all the top-notch action, top players for the week, who's hot, who's not. We're going to run it all through for you. First off, let's go through last week's results. We had who's winning versus the bitches. The bitches take them down 61.5 to 31.5. We had SOD bury the rookies 58 to 28 by a score by 30. Next we have Better Than You versus the Guru. This was a colossal matchup, folks. You guessed it. BTU wins again, 44 to 28.5. Tailgaters versus She's the Man. Folks, Tailgaters team, we told you she drafted a good one. I'm telling you what, her bench outscored most of your starting lineups. Takes down She's the Man, 98 to 34. Next we had Hell's Bells versus Sack Attack. Sack Attack, one touchdown. 25 yards from Dwayne Bowbuddy, you get the win. It didn't happen. Took you down 47.5 to 41.5. Last matchup, we had She Hate Me versus No Clue. No Clue put a stomping on her as well, 71 to 43.5. Folks, last week, prediction segment went 3-2. We'll try to get better for you this week. Nice job, Hell's Bells and No Clue. Make me eat crow later in the show. Now, let's start with pickups for your team. Now that week one is finished, there were some major injuries. We had some quarterbacks go down, some running backs go down. These are free agents still available that you can pick up to help your team. First off, quarterback. Derek Anderson from the Arizona Cardinals has a top 5 receiver in the game. Supposed to have the top 3 receiving core in the NFL with Larry Fitzgerald, Steve Breston, and Early Doucette. Last week, 41 passes attempted, 22 caught for 297 yards and 1 score, no interceptions. Great pickup for a bye week, injured quarterback, you got to fill somebody in. Sam Bradford, I know guys, he's a rookie, he plays for St. Louis, but check out these stats in a throwing league today. He's a good backup player, good start. 55 pass attempts last week. Are you kidding me? 55 for the rookie in his first game. Completed 32 of them, 1 score, did have the 3 picks, but you know, he's going to go through that as a rookie. Still put up pretty impressive numbers, and he likes to throw the ball a lot. St. Louis, greatest show on turf, they like to throw it around. Nate Washington, wide receiver, plays for Tennessee. You need a guy on a bye week. You got a receiver that's injured. You drafted Kenny Britt. You're not feeling too good about him. Well, this guy was thrown to 3 times, had 88 yards and a score in week 1. He is a deep threat, great bye week player. Other than that, I wouldn't count on him consistently for good yardage, but he'll get you there about 5 times this year. Next, Mark Clayton from the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens brought in Anquan Bolden. They brought in TJ Houshmandzadeh. They got Todd Heap. They got Derek Mason, veteran on that team for a long time. Mark Clayton had to go. Now, goes down to St. Louis, where they're throwing the ball 55 times with Sam Bradford. Well, last week, this guy was targeted 16 times, had 10 passes caught for 119 yards. Didn't find the end zone, but folks, the way we add it up, that's 4 points every week you can count on. Let's go to running backs. Peyton Hillis. Normally I wouldn't do this, tell you to go look at a Cleveland Brown, but maybe you want to look at this guy if you got problems in your backfield. Last week, he had 9 rush attempts for 41 yards, all right? Had a 4.6 average per carry and 1 touchdown. But they also threw him the ball on a lot of swing and screen passes. Caught it 5 times in the passing game, 4 passes, 24 yards, averaged 6.0 yards a catch. That's pretty good. Now, let's talk about who was hot last week in our league. I mean, these people burn the turf. Peyton Manning in your quarterbacks comes in with 17 points. Tom Brady against Cincy, 15 points. Matt Hasselbeck, San Fran, 15 points. Folks, I said Peyton Manning 17. I said Matt Hasselbeck 15. Both them players on the Tailgaters team. Wow. David Garrard comes in with an impressive 14 points this week against Denver. Good bye week quarterback as well. Running backs, Arian Foster, again, Tailgaters, you guessed it. 27 points. Matt Forte had him as a bust of the draft last week. Came out 19.5. Almost ate the crow on that one, but he was playing the Detroit Lions, so let's just, calm down a little bit. Chris Johnson last week, number 1 pick, came in with a solid 17 points. Java Best, rookie taken, came in with a nice 12 points. The yardage wasn't impressive, but he came in and he scored the ball twice. Wide receivers, Akeem freaking Nicks. Are you kidding me? 3 touchdowns from Eli Manning, 21 points. Wes Welker came in with 14 points. That's another tailgater player, people. Chad Ochocinco holds it down for 12 points, had a good game. Miles Austin gets 11. Those are your top 4 receivers. Who was not hot? Who hurt your team this week? Did you underperform? Or is your team not that good? Well, let's find out here. Maurice Jones-Drew from the running backs, 3 points. Play San Diego this week. Doesn't get much easier, people. Adrian Peterson had 3 points last week. No touchdowns. Plays Miami. I think he gets you a couple there. Frank Gore, 2 points. Frank Gore, he's another one of those Steven Jackson guys. I don't even want to get into it. But plays New Orleans. You saw what they did to Adrian Peterson. Don't know if you want to go there. Wide receivers, Andre Johnson got 1 point. That was the number 4 pick in our draft, people. BTU, bet you're happy with that one, aren't you? Good luck. Marcus Colston also only came in with 2 points that week. Randy Moss also came in with 2 points. What can you say? That's how it happens. Those are a lot of top players in the who's not hot section there, people. You know, hopefully they'll pick it up throughout the year. Week 1's always a little suspect. Now let's get into our sleepers for week 4. People that you can play this week that I think is going to have a good game. Last week, this guy didn't get in until the 4th quarter. Greg Camarillo. I think he's someone you can put in this week. He plays Miami, who's his old team. He knows the defense. He practiced against them all the time. The Vikings are at home. They want to showcase what they can do. And I believe Brett Favre will have a better game this week. Someone else you can play, another wide receiver, Des Bryant. Played in Chicago last week. Or plays in Chicago this week. I'm sorry, folks. I didn't mean to say that there. He actually played against Washington last week. But he did catch 8 passes for 56 yards. I believe he gets his first touchdown this week at home in Dallas against Chicago. Mark Clayton, again, we talked about him earlier, plays for St. Louis. He's a 6-year veteran. Okay, they're playing the Oakland Raiders. They're horrible. All right, he was targeted 16 times last week, caught 10 passes for 119 yards. Again, Sam Bradford threw it around the yard 55 times. That's something you might want to look into. Now, we're going to bring in our special guest for the week, the Guru, and we will have him join us now for another great interview. Guru, how you doing? Pleasure to have you on the show.
Glad to be here.
All right, buddy. A couple questions for you. Another big week 1 loss. You played better than you. 8 years running. You've won once. Your thoughts?
At least the guy found one thing that he's better at me at. But, let me ask you, you were wrong last week. When you were picking your big teams and wrong teams, or good teams and bad teams, did that guy actually draft a team that is younger than 35? I mean, my gosh, look at it. LT in the 4th round, Portis in the 6th, T.O. in the 7th, Westbrook in the 9th, McNabb in the 11th. Who did he get in the 1st and the 2nd?
Well,
Was it possibly Namath in the 1st and Sammy White in the 2nd? I mean, what was that guy thinking? That might have been the bust of the draft, buddy.
yeah, it might have been, but looking back at it, it looks like he took a strategy with reliable veterans and he's going to hold strong. We did see him beat you this week. Maybe you'll get him later in the year. All right. So after a 0-1 start, how do you plan on to fight back in your division in fantasy football?
That's why the wire is so important, and that's why I fought for it for the past 2-3 years. Is because you can take a crap draft and turn it into a stellar team. You got to just polish and polish and polish, and up until week 11, you still got a chance with that waiver wire to make this damn thing work for you and still getting the money. And that's what we're all working for.
All right, sounds good. Now, I did see, speaking of the waiver wire, you did get Brandon Jackson today off waivers. Now, does he have a place to automatically start on your team, or is he someone you trade? How do you look at him now that you picked him up?
I look at it like this. Everyone is tradable. I'm working for money. And, it's a marathon and not a sprint. And so if I have to trade a weak person or a good person in order to better my team, everybody's available.
All right, sounds great. Well, this week you play She's the Man. So any fine words for She's the Man this week before you play her?
Yeah. I'm growing a stash. We all know that She's the Man loves the stash. And boy, when I rock my Fu Manchu, she loves her some Fu Manchu. All right? And so, She's the Man. Get your popcorn ready. Because you know what? I love me some me.
All right. Well, that was the Guru. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Good luck with the rest of the year, and
Awesome.
you have a good evening.
You too.
All right, folks. There you have it. Mustache, Fu Manchus. We got it all here, folks. Now, the segment you've all been waiting for, this week's prediction segment, and our weekly matchups. Yes, folks, here it is again. Week 2, we have Sack Attack versus BTU. Sack Attack. BTU. Sack Attack. BTU. BTU takes the Sack Attack down. Who's winning versus She Hate Me? Who's winning? Catastrophic injury with Ryan Grant. Might have to come off that playoff block I put you on. Not for sure. We'll see if you can put something together. She Hate Me comes with the win this week. She's the Man versus the Guru. The Guru with the Fu Manchu. What are you going to do? Well, after seeing what the Tailgaters did to her, I think the Guru is going to ride that all the way to victory too. We'll give him the win. We have the Bitches versus the Rookies. What do we have here, folks? We have a winner, we have a loser. We have a winner, we have a loser. Survey says Tukey Rookies gets out of the whole 0-1, brings it 1-1 for the Bitches, 1-1 for the Rookies. No Clue versus SOD. No Clue. I had you out of the playoffs, buddy. You might be coming right back in. We only got to wait to see. That was a great performance last week. You get the win, my friend, right here. Tailgater versus Hell's Bells. Wow. I know you didn't want to catch her. Good thing you won last week. Don't know how you did it. Everybody see the little crow, Hell's Bells? I was on you hard. But, buddy, I'll eat the crow. You proved me wrong. No problem there. But, Tailgater's still going to put it on you, people. That's your weekly prediction segment. And now, want to bring everybody in to our new segment we're going to have next week, all right? Let me pull this up here. I got a new segment called the Question and Answer segment this week. Send your emails to therealdealfantasy@yahoo.com. Maybe you'll get your question read and answered on the air. Now, this is the Real Deal Fantasy Drill. I'm the Real Deal. And remember, I'm international, people.